in terms of lesson planning and curriculum development, just give you some ideas. So I've used it in terms of planning out specifically for myself, not for the department, but planning out a literacy focused lesson for my special needs class in Year 8. So I'm not a literacy specialist. I did ask the literacy coordinator to check the plans as well, and she sort of thought that they were good and sort of progressive as well. But I use it to plan out a literacy lesson based on adaptation of animals. So it produced a little story for me with adaptations in, and I use Poe for this. So I know we'll go through some of the ones I tend to use, the AI tools, but Poe or ChatGPT or Copilot, I asked it to make me a story based on animal adaptations. It gave me a little story. You can set the number of words, the reading age. I've got some examples as well, Rob, if you want me to show those. And then I sort of integrated that into the lesson with adjectives. So, and again, it came up with a little paragraph of highlight the adjectives in this paragraph about Billy the Bat, I think it was, or something, with his echolocation and all extra special features like that. So it allowed me to, within the vehicle of science, it allowed me to really look at the skills of literacy. So that was a really helpful thing for me. And it also made sure that I knew exactly what an adjective was as well, because you can use it like a training tool for yourself. You can ask it, tell me in layman terms what an adjective is and how I would use it in science. So you can use it for that purpose as well, actually, as PL for yourself. The other next thing I sort of use it for then is one of the recommendations in our DIP for this year from a whole department perspective was following a lesson observation on a revision lesson end of last year. We had quite a free-flowing revision lesson for Key Stage 4. That didn't seem very structured. So as part of my DIP recommendations this year, Department Improvement Plan, I asked it to come up with a revision lesson plan. So again, using Poe and ChatGPT, it came up with a sort of 5 minutes do this, main task, plenary for a revision lesson. And again, I can show that, Rob, there's examples if you want to pass those on as well.
Great.
The other thing as well, to generate learning intentions and success criteria for every lesson. Sometimes you know what you want the learning intention to be, but you can't quite grasp it, or it's not worded right. So, you can put in what your lesson is going to be roughly, or you can upload your PowerPoint and you can ask it, can you write me a learning intention, one short sentence, and it'll come up with it. And again, you can tweak it. You can go, yeah, that's okay. Or, oh, no, I don't like that word. And again, you can talk to the chat bot. You can say, can you put this into a reading age of 11 years? You can actually change the focus of it as well. And again, success criteria, you can ask it to make success criteria for you based on a specific task. And again, you don't have to accept them, but it certainly avoids the blank page issue, which we can have sometimes, or I have sometimes in myself. I've also used it to make a rubric as part of my MPEP research project. So I'm looking at self and peer assessment. So I asked it to come up with some sort of graded responses that the children could use in class to write their own self-assessment about their work and linking in with the success criteria for the lesson. So I've been successfully using that as part of my research as well. Recently as well, from a whole department perspective, we've had our departmental review last week. So we've done some pupil voice, some book scrutiny, so all anonymised, because you do have to be careful about that as well. But I've got it to summarise pupil voice for me. So I uploaded all the pupils' comments when they were talking to me. And I could have actually recorded it and gotten a transcript from it and done it. I did it the old-fashioned way and typed it out. But I uploaded it and asked it positive, areas of development, next steps to the department. And it's given me a little plan forward that I can share with the department and with SLT and start to triangulate, I suppose, the information from pupil voice, work scrutiny, and then eventually when I get it, the lesson observation stuff as well from SLT. So it's really bringing together hours and hours of worth of data otherwise into a manageable, sort of on a couple of pages document that I can use. I think that's the main thing really, is that the AI can make a large document a usable document. You can reduce it down for you as well. I've also done it for assembly ideas. So I had to do, I think my sort of, title was Rise to the Challenge, Mock Exams, Goals and Resilience. It wrote that, I didn't write that. But I sort of had to do something for the sixth form after their mock exams in January, and it came up with an assembly idea for me as well. So it sort of just, again, avoids that blank page effect, I suppose. Then that's just a sample of some things. There's lots of things if you want more examples as well, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you can get the picture there in terms of there's such a range of ways in which it can support you for that kind of prep time and reducing and streamlining things, you know, particularly around the departmental review you were saying there, you know, there's hours and hours of work that can go into something like that. So it just helps streamline that process.
That's it, yeah.
Definitely. So you mentioned some of the AI tools that you've been using there. I mean, what are your kind of go-tos? What are the most used ones that that you go to kind of thing?
Yeah, and again, there are thousands out there, and there's lots being developed as well, almost on a weekly basis. There are some websites that you can sign up to that sort of send you the links to new ones coming out as well, like newsletters. So I am aware there are lots, and we've all got our preferred one, I suppose. But the one I tend to go for was POE, P-O-E. It was available to use in my school in Powys, and it was free, which I loved, so that was good. Does have its limitations. I found out now it only goes back as far as 2023. So if you're doing research, it's not necessarily accurate and valid in terms of education research or things like that. So I started using ChatGPT, which is a lot more powerful. However, I learned recently is, again, now that it's limited in terms of the data. So you're only allowed a certain number of requests and chats basically in the free option. Obviously you can pay into it, but I think there's so many things that teachers do pay themselves that, you know, it's just another sort of string to the bow to have to do that, isn't it? So I use Poe most of the time because I can have multiple and endless amounts of chats with the bot there. And if I've got something specifically that I need, ChatGPT can do pictures and images and stuff like that as well. And it's up to date, you know, it's up to 2025. I use that. So I flip between those two. Quizzes.com, I absolutely love because it turns anything, any format of things you've got, from a paragraph to a worksheet, to a downloaded segment from the syllabus, to free text, or just a title. So if you wanted on plant organs, it will give you a quiz based on that. It's very similar, if you haven't used it, to Kahoot and things like that. I think it's a brilliant interface. The kids love it. It's competitive. And more so as well, and I think we'll talk about this later, Rob, is that I can analyse it afterwards. So you can download the information from the pupils' answers, you can download it into Excel or Google Sheets, and then it can help you with your future planning and giving feedback to the kids as well. It allows you to review the questions with the class. And we use that sort of as almost like a self-assessment after the quiz as well then.
Do you have any kind of examples of how AI has helped personalised learning experiences?
Yeah, and again, I suppose I teach quite a few A-level classes. So I teach A-level biology and medical science. And obviously we're trying to encourage independence with students going off to university there as well. So 100%, you know, we use the AI as a tool, again, with our sixth form. So for example, somebody can't do significant figures, or somebody can't do translocation, or something really specific that we've done in class and they get stuck on it. I can ask ChatGPT or Poe, give me some more questions, give me 5 questions with workings out and answers at the end. You know, you've got to set your sort of parameters on significant figures. It'll download me them. I'm like, I've got to fact check it, obviously, because it does throw some errors up mathematically sometimes, so do check it. Then I can upload it onto our Google Classroom, and the pupils then have extra support materials to work on. I've started bringing that down to GCSE as well now, so where the pupils are having particular individual struggles. So once you've marked a set of homework or assessments, you can see, oh, there's about 10 children get stuck at this, there's about 5 get stuck on that. You know, within about 15 minutes, I can do bespoke, or 10 minutes, I can do bespoke support work, extra stuff for those children based on ChatGPT or Poe,